Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. This is Jeff with Fluent American back once more here on Christmas Eve with you, helping you to craft your accent, expand your pronunciation, and everything related to American English. What are you guys doing here? It's almost Christmas if you're celebrating. I am. I was not sure how many people are going to show up for today. Whether you're watching on the replay or you're joining us live, thank you for checking us out, including thanks to Edward. Great to see you, our resident British English expert. Hello, also to Orange. Orange. Oh, it's Junji. Hey, good to see you, sir. It's been great seeing you in the group and also just kind of chatting with you every now and then. Really great hearing about your experiences. Hello, also to Nick checking in. Nick, great to see you. I see some other people are coming up in the chat. I will put people up. Here we go. So Shok is here as well. Good. I'm guessing evening to Shok. And also good evening to Emmanuel as well. Happy or Merry Christmas Eve, I should say. Coming up, let us know. By the way, I have a poll going on. I want to know how many people are you going to see for the holiday? Even if you're not celebrating Christmas, let me know how many people you're going to see tomorrow in your family. And right now, we have 6 votes in, and half of them are saying you're going to see 11 or more people. That's wild to me. I'm going to see, it's me, my wife, my son, my aunt, my brother, his girlfriend, and my uncle, and my mom and my dad. How many people is that? I think it's like less than 10, I think. That's my guess. But yes. Hello again, Edward saying hey to people. Okay. And oh yeah, Emmanuel was telling me about that in Romania. They actually have carolers that like go door to door, and you have to like listen to them. I don't want to say like have to. It should be something fun. I hope something you enjoy. But carolers going to the door, so definitely understand. Hopefully, they're good at singing. If they're not good at singing, do they get less of a tip? Like if people are really good at singing, do you give them more of a tip? Manuel, I have questions. Let me know how this works. So many questions. And let me know if you guys have other traditions going on for Christmas. If there's like a specific meal that you guys do, or if there's something that you always like some weird family tradition, or maybe there's a cultural tradition that's been done for 1,000 years that you're just like we must do this some more. But yeah, keep me informed in the poll and things like that. But what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be again listening to pronunciation files that you send here. A quick note too, we have started our official Schwa Mill channel, but there were some issues with YouTube, so I had to do it our Schwa Mill episode today on the main channel. Next week is going to be the official switch to the second channel because it is now ready. Or it will be ready by then. So that's some exciting news. So what's going to happen today? In case you're joining us for the first time, by the way, if you are joining us for the first time, let us know. Say something in the chat. Just say, hey, you can disappear again after that, but we want to know if you're here. Let's just kind of take a quick look, though, at how can you send in your own pronunciation files to get some feedback for yourselves. So this is what you need. This is the document. You can find this in the video description, but I'll also do you a favor too in the chat box. You guys will see that in a moment. So this is a document that you need to go to. And once there, you'll see it's a Google Doc. Some people have already sent in files, which is great. And it's helpful if you want to put your name, but not necessary to if you're trying to stay anonymous. I understand. But you're going to see that it invites you to take a look at a website called vocab.com. Now, vocab.com looks something like this. The first time you log in, you'll probably see like a big red button here. So that way you can record yourself. You can do this on your phone or on your computer if you have a microphone. You record yourself. You're going to click save. Then you're going to see this screen. Down here, you're going to see this link. You take this link and you put it, you copy and paste it into this Google Doc or Sheets, and we'll see it. All right. And then I'll be able to hear you, and I'll share my screen and my audio so you'll be able to hear yourself as well. And then we can give some feedback. So that way we can give you some tips on how to sound even more natural in American English. That's our goal today and every single Saturday at this time. And yeah, well, even if you're not sending in pronunciation files, I think that you'll still find lots of helpful tips because, we all may have different accents, but there's still many, many things that we can all share and take advantage of to sound even more natural, regardless of where you're coming from. Yep. So that's a quick note there. In case you have other questions about how to send in files in the future, be sure to just let me know. We use this same link, by the way, the same document, every single live stream. And our live streams are Saturdays at this time. So you can save this link, check it out on Thursday or Friday is when I usually clear it. And then you can start sending in your files for next time, in case you're watching on the replay or listening to the podcast. Emmanuel has given us some insights on how this tipping system works in Romania. So if you're good at singing to get more tips, that's great. Less good, less tips. Can't afford your singing classes. I'm sorry, guys. Of course, with children singing, the tip is large no matter what. Yes. Yes. So the trick is to find children to sing with you. I understand completely. All right. I think that kind of goes through everything on my end. Of course, as we go through this too, if you have other questions related to American English pronunciation, you can always put them in the chat. We'll be happy to hear them and give some best answers as we can. All right, I think that kind of wraps up our summary, though, so we can actually begin taking a look at your American English pronunciation files. Oh, let me add myself there, right? Again, it's not little, it's more little.
The G host was class.
Are you feeling that here, or here? Now you're going to see I have my headphones on. I'm going to share my screen once more so that way you guys can see what I see and hear what I hear. Let's take a moment to do that. Give me one moment. Also saying hello to Elchin checking in. I am doing well. I hope you are too. Let us know. Are you celebrating Christmas now or are you celebrating Christmas later? Good. Just curious. All right. I'm not sure when they do it. There. All right. Make sure to share my audio. Emmanuel, I'm sharing my audio. Don't worry. I'm sharing my audio. I have not forgotten. Okay. So this is our document full of files and things. Just going to pick some at random. Let's also timestamps, people. Always need to remember timestamps. First one, let's do 7. Right around 7:50. A random one here. 10-second file. Let's take a listen to this.
I keep changing my plans over and over again. Several months ago, my goal was to find a new job. Now I feel that I need to focus more on my family.
Okay. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Okay. And play it one more time.
I keep changing my plans over and over again. Several months ago, my goal was to find a new job. Now I feel that I need to focus more on my family.
Okay. So I have some ideas on some things I want to say. Just a quick note though. For Elchin, they don't celebrate Christmas. What is the dominant religion there? If you don't mind, what's the dominant faith background? Wasn't sure if it was Orthodox or not. But going back here.
I keep changing my plans over and over again.
Let's kind of pause it there.
I keep changing my plans over and over again.
Keep changing my plans over and over again. I keep changing my plans over and over again. Keep changing my plans over and over again. Changing my plans. So I think, I like your stress on plans. I don't know if I would add a stress on again. And I feel like that is something that I'm hearing. Okay. Oh, I wasn't aware. Okay. So it's a Muslim country. Cool. I don't know why. I thought it would be more Orthodox. Interesting. Okay. Thank you for sharing that.
I keep changing my plans over and over again.
Because you hear that, because that rhythm is I keep changing my plans over and over again versus I keep changing my plans over and over again. I keep changing my plans over and over again. That's personally how I would have read that. But again, that's just me. Keep changing my plans. I don't think you need to stress on again. Besides that,
I keep changing my plans over and over again.
I like that. In general, the rhythm I like a lot. And hello to Dustin checking in. Great to see you, sir. Yeah, thanks for being with us here today. I like the general rhythm because I don't think you're stressing a whole lot of words. I'm really just besides again and plans, which is great. It's like I keep changing my plans. That's sequence I really like a lot. I like how you're saying plans. That can be a tricky combination to say with that "a" sound plus that "n." Um, Also like how you're reducing keep. Like I keep changing. I keep changing.
I keep changing my
Hear how short the keep is there. I think that's a very natural reduction. Let's take a look at the next part.
plans over and over again. Several months ago, my goal was to find a new job.
7 months ago, my goal. 7 months ago, my goal.
Several months ago, my goal was to
Thing in terms of pitches, I think we could increase the variety here because kind of getting like a go, my goal. I do think you're going a little higher on goal, but they're pretty similar there. So I would experiment with maybe several months ago, my goal. Something there I think needs to get a heavier stress, whether it's months or whether it's goal. Like several months ago, my goal, or several months ago, my goal. Like I think one of those two patterns would be a little bit more frequent.
again. Several months ago, my goal was to find a new job.
7 months ago, my goal was to find a new job. 7 months ago, my goal was to. 7 months ago, I could really see either of those patterns where the stress is heavier on months or on goal. So I think you have a lot of choice there in terms of what words you want to stress.
Several months ago, my goal was to find a new job.
Find a new job.
Months ago, my goal was to find a new job.
My goal is to find a new job. My goal is to find a new job. My goal is to find a new job. I think you could reduce find a little bit, lower the pitch more, just to kind of give you some more chance to flow. Because otherwise, you kind of get the duh, the duh, the duh. But by not having that stress on find, you can kind of flow a little bit more.
Months ago, my goal was to find a new job.
Some of that is also just intonation patterns. You did it several months ago. My goal is to find a new job. So less of falling intonation. Duh, 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 duh. Maybe we could have some rising intonation. Several months ago, you could go rising intonation on a go. My goal, you could use a rising intonation on goal. Find a new job. So I just think you need like one or two rising intonations there to get a more natural rhythm.
Several months ago, my goal was to find a new job.
Watch out for job. I feel like in American English, you're more likely to get a little bit more of an ah sound. Job. It's a job, more job.
Goal was to find a new job.
It's a job, more job. A little more open, a little lower.
Now I feel that I need to focus more on my family.
Watch out for focus. That second syllable of focus very often gets more like a short I sound than a schwa sound. So focus, more focus. Focus, like saying kiss. Focus, focus. I feel like that's a more natural way of hearing that in American English.
Now I feel that I need to focus more on my family.
No, I need to focus more on my family. Again, some stresses that I think the general rhythm here, I mean, very clear, very understandable. I'm imagining again if we were saying this in a conversation, what would it sound like? And I think something that would help this sound more conversational, if that's the goal, would be something like this.
Up. Now I feel that I
Now I feel you could stress now, like now I feel that so months ago, but now I feel it's something like that.
now I feel that I need to focus more on my family.
Now I feel that I need to focus more on my family. Now I feel that I need to focus more on my family. Maybe a little higher pitch on family.
I feel that I need to focus more on my family.
Maybe even higher, slightly higher on my family. On my family. Focus more on my family. Or, I think the general rhythm there was actually okay.
Now I feel that I need to focus more on my family.
I need to focus more on my family. Maybe actually going lower. So I would either go higher on family or maybe even a step lower. Focus more on my family. Focus more on my family. Or focus more on my family. Focus more on my family. One of those options I think can give you a slightly more natural rhythm, honestly.
To find a new job. Now I feel that I need to focus more on my family.
Now I feel that I need to focus more on my family. Now I feel that I need to focus more on my family. Another thing too that you can consider with when you're speaking is pauses. I've mentioned things like this previously, but I think pauses are an underutilized tool, especially when it comes to language learners. It's not that native speakers are constantly talking, and there's no breaking. No, there's pauses. So there are places where we can pause and it still sounds natural. And there are places where you can pause where it sounds less natural, specifically like in between sentences. Just because you have a period doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have a long pause. But I would say, inside of sentences, you could do like now I feel that I need to focus more on my family, something like that. Now I feel that pause. I need to focus more on my family. Notice I added a there a pause between my and family. So I would just kind of experiment with pauses in the middle of sentences. And I think that that can also help one add contrast because you're adding you're breaking the rhythm up, when you're pausing. And that's in general not a bad thing. That's how people, understand you better. But in addition to that, just opportunities to breathe, opportunities to kind of just make your sentence a little bit more dynamic. But those are kind of just my quick thoughts there. If you have any questions for me about anything I just said, be sure to let me know. But thanks for that audio file. I do appreciate it. Some quick things that I missed. Dustin asked me, "What's popping?" Man, it is cold here. What is the temperature where you guys are? Because today I woke up, or actually all night, it was probably about minus 23, minus 24 degrees Celsius. Our furnace is going crazy right now. We got snow, and this is all we were flying back home from the south, visiting some of my wife's family, and our flight got delayed, and yeah, so it's yeah, I was surprised our flight actually made. I thought it was gonna be canceled because again, it was like minus 23, minus 25. It's windy. There's snow, there's ice. I don't know how we made it back, but we did. We're here. Yeah, we got frost on our windows. We got frost inside some of our windows, man. That's how you know it's cold. Granted, our house is old. Our house is oldish. It was built in like 1920s, which is old for US. Where in the US do you live, Jeff? I live currently in a state called Ohio, which is basically if you're in New York, if you fly to New York and you just travel, I always get confused on the camera. If you travel that way, west, for 9 hours from New York City, you will hit us, or about an hour flight. Elchin says it's 0 degrees there. Okay, so that's not so bad. And Dust said it's 24 degrees there. Man, where are you at? We were actually in California recently too, and even in California, it was like maybe 10 to 15 degrees, so like warmer, but not like super warm. Man, where is this 24 degrees? This is wild. Edward says, "Where in Ohio? Cleveland?" No, my dad actually is from Cleveland originally. We are currently in Columbus. Columbus is the capital of the state. We are inside of Columbus. Elshin says, "Hope to visit you one day." Don't do it in the winter. That's my big suggestion. I would say anytime between May and September is usually pretty good. If you guys are ever stateside, be sure to let me know. I've actually met students and people who've seen the channel before. While we were in California, actually, we met someone who had actually seen my channel before, whose family's from the Philippines, which is cool. So we're slowly getting bigger, guys. It's slowly happening. I do need a quick water break, but in that time, like what you're hearing, let us know by liking and subscribing. I just want to take a quick look at our poll. So right now I'm asking you, how many family members are you going to see on Christmas? Whether you're celebrating Christmas or whether you're not celebrating, because maybe we're of different faiths. How many people are you going to see on December 25th? Let me know. Still in the lead, though the lead has shrunk. It's 33%. 11 plus people. My God. These people have such big families. Edward asks about how is the weather cold and also damp in Ohio? I think the big thing is that damp in the sense that like because it tends to be cold, typically I would say like end of December through February, you're looking at anywhere between 0 to again like minus 20, 25 degrees Celsius. So for that reason, what tends to happen is if it rains or if it snows, it just stays there for a long time. So the ground is in a constant state of either being like rock hard or just staying muddy because it's not warm enough to change. You know what I mean? So it's not that it necessarily rains a lot or snows a lot, but it's hard for the moisture to go away. I think that's the bigger thing. Elshin asked me, can you do a BRE? I'm guessing that's British accent. I can't. I actually, if you look up my live streams, I did a class where I learned British English, or we brought in a teacher who tried to teach me some British English things. But no, I definitely cannot. Oil saying, hey, thank you so much for joining us today. Great to see you. Did you send us a pronunciation file? If not, please do. 29 degrees here in the Northeast. Whenever I think of the Northeast, I think of, is that the city with the sharks? Was it Recife or something? That's that's the only thing I know. I have some students from there, or Curitiba. But yeah, I cannot do a British accent. You guys definitely don't want to hear that. Definitely don't want to. You don't want to hear that. Promise you. Okay, we got through one file. Make sure I'm not repeating the same files for you guys. All right, let's get on to number 2. I'm going to remember timestamps because I do that sometimes. Sometimes I remember timestamps. And you'll see those timestamps again under the replay after. And again, guys, if you want to help out the stream, try to reach more people. Thank you, Elchin, for mentioning timestamps as well. I appreciate that. If you want to help the stream reach more people, something you can do. If you're not in a position to share, I understand. But if you like the stream, that also sends messages. And also, just kind of being active in the chat. Those are all things that help get this stream out to more people. That's our goal, is to try to help as many people with their American English as possible. Okay, we're going to take a listen to this one here. Okay, I was going to remind you of that. Okay, Dustin says their file's last one. Oh, is it going to be this one? Is it this one? Let's see what's going to happen here. I'll just say they love the streams. Thanks. I love that you're in the streams. Oh, no, you don't want to. I liked it because it was just 7 seconds, but Dustin says they want to wait. Okay, fine. This one's a long one. Let's see what we got here. That is perfectly fine. Okay, whose file is this?
All right, so I'm gonna try my best to sound like I don't have an accent. I definitely do sound a bit
Hello to
crazy
Arsh, by
right
the way.
now,
Thank you for sending the
but
file.
I guess it's part of the process. I'm gonna say a few words here and let's see how it sounds. Water. Hello. Literally. 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 Girl. Girl. All right. All right. I've also had trouble pronouncing these few words. Apple. Pool. 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 Kill. Kill. And call. Yeah, thanks. Hope you guys have a nice day.
Oh, thank you. Hope you have a nice day. That was so sweet to add at the end. That was really nice. I like that. That's great. Okay, so it seems like you're really kind of focusing on the words. So I'm going to go to the end of that file, assuming I can find it again. I think it was that long one. Actually, let's see if there's anything in the beginning.
Alright, so I'm gonna try my best to sound like I don't have an accent. I definitely do sound a bit cringy right now,
You don't sound
but
cringy. You don't
I
have to worry
guess
about
it's
that.
part of the process. Process.
Process, yeah, process. Let me find those words.
Literally.
I got some good ones. There was some that we missed.
Hello. Water.
That sound pretty good there. Okay, so we'll start with water.
Water.
Water. Water. Honestly, you could go even weaker on that fast D sound if you want. It doesn't even have to be that strong. Water. Water. So again, that first word he said was water. That ER is just water. Water. Now let's hear that again.
Water.
Water. That's fine. I think if you use that in daily life, I think you can still sound pretty. I think you sound pretty natural with that. You could experiment with weakening that fast D sound as well. So instead of water, you could also do water, water. Or if you go to Philadelphia, where I'm from, we say like water, water. But water's fine. I like that.
Water. Hello.
Hello. You're getting a little closed off there on that O sound. It's like hello versus hello. Hello. Watch my lips there when I'm saying that. Let me make myself bigger for a moment. Okay, so hello, hello, hello. Notice how straight my lips are there. Hello. So say hello, 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 hello. Can you hear the difference there? You can finish with round lips. That's not necessarily a problem. You could do hello, hello, hello. But when I'm doing that, I'm making sure to keep the placement low and lots of breath flowing through my throat. If you limit the breath, like if you block the breath or you cause your placement to shift towards your lips, you're going to end up with a sound more like hello when you round your lips. So that's one of the reasons why I often tell students just to keep the lips straighter, because it can be a little easier to keep that placement lower. But if you want to experiment with those round lips too, you can. Just keep, again, placement low and the breath flowing. So watch out just for that O sound at the end of hello. Hello.
Water. Hello. Literally.
Literally. What it sounds like to me is that kind of doing like that, literally, where our placement is almost kind of trapped up here, like in our jaw and our mouth area, literally. So I would experiment. I would say, hey, can you say literally 5 times and like go down each time? So like literally, 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 literally. Maybe even try to take it even lower. Literally. See how low you can take it. But I think that, experiment with that placement a little bit can help you arrive at a place that might sound a little bit more natural, because it sounds a little high. I do like that, you are getting the vowel sounds very clear and it's not getting blocked off by any of your consonants, but I just think the placement's a little too high and not enough breath is coming through.
Sounds. Water. Hello. Literally.
Literally, especially for the ole part. Yeah, so one of the things too that we're seeing is, a lot of these words have dark L's. That's one thing a lot of these words have in common. So I'm guessing that for your dark L sound, you may be kind of tensing things up or raising your placement. But remember, a dark L sound is going to be more You can see my lips there a little open. And so my placement is low and my breath is, again, lots of breath coming through. So just a note on that. Let's hear some more of these.
Literally.
Do you hear that? You can also hear that on the li part. It's like li. Your E sound is becoming really tense and high as well. You can hear that li versus li. Can you hear the difference between li and li? Hear that difference? That's, again, mine has a lower placement. Yours is a little higher.
Literally.
Li. Lower placement, more breath.
Literally.
Same thing there. Again, the fast E sound can be pretty fast. It doesn't have to be lidder. It's more litter.
Girl.
Okay, for girl,
Girl.
that R is just going missing. There's an MIA. We are just dropping that R sound almost completely. Where'd it go? We have to find it. So I would say for girl, see, I would do this progression. We actually have a video that talks specifically about this word and the word world, just because they're so frequently causing problems for people. So I would practice just doing make sure we can do that sound. Back of my tongue is high. Front of your tongue can be high or low. In my case right now, that's the tip of my tongue against the bottom of my mouth. So then once you feel comfortable with that, you can then add a slight G sound before it. It's like gur. And then we need to get from that sound and that gur sound to an sound. So maybe it actually would be easier to just try doing an sound to an It's like Earl. Notice there my lips. Not a whole lot of movement going on, right? Earl. Okay, and my placement's staying in the same spot, still projecting low, lots of breath moving through my throat. Earl. And then we can add that G sound back in. Girl. It's like Earl, girl. Earl, girl. Earl, girl. If you find that you're doing girl, that's the sign that our R's too weak. If we're doing Earl, girl, that's the sign that our R sound is too strong, that is tensing everything up and blocking too much breath. Okay, so just a note that you can try to use to practice a little bit there.
All right.
That sounded pretty good.
Girl. All right.
Yeah, but I like that. Lots of breath coming through. I didn't think your dark L was blocking off as much air there, which is great. That sounds pretty good.
Girl, alright, alright,
No, I like the first way you said it better. All right, don't drag. All right. Another thing you want to really be focusing on too is when you have words with multiple syllables, trying to identify, what is the stressed syllable, because that's going to dictate how you say the word. In all right, the stress is on right. Okay, so that means that all part, you want it to be fast and you want it to be weak. You also want it to have a lower pitch, so it's not all right. English is not a very democratic language. If you're not stressed, you have no power. You get no vote, nothing. So, you can make that first syllable way weaker and you can make that second syllable a lot stronger. So it's not all right, it's all right. All right. That first syllable is so fast and so weak. It's just kind of something to keep in mind there for all right.
alright. I was had trouble pronouncing these few words.
You can also hear your dark L too, especially on the word trouble. A little heavy there. Trouble, trouble versus trouble, trouble. So again, more breath coming through. Try not to block as much air. Try to keep your placement low.
Apple,
Again, we see that again. Apple, apple, apple,
fool,
fool. Again, dark L. Really tense, really high. Fool, fool, fool,
pool,
pool, pool, pool. I would also, it could also be that your oo sound is tense as well. So I would practice saying like ooh, ooh, pool, or like ooh, ooh, fool. Those words to make sure it's not just the dark L, but it's also your oo sound. The oo is really tricky because, most languages have an oo sound. So making sure that you're not switching back to your first language oo, which I'm guessing is maybe more of an ooh or like things like that, a little higher, with maybe tighter around lips, like ooh, ooh, versus in American English. So just a note about that.
pool, pool, kill,
Kill wasn't bad. I would practice like ill, kill, ill, kill, ill, kill. But in general, I thought you got more breath on that one than you did on some of those ooh words, which is good.
kill, kill, and call. Yeah,
Call wasn't bad. You can maybe even get a touch more air through, but overall that was pretty good. Call, 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 call.
and call. Yeah, thanks. Hope you guys have a nice day.
Thank you. All right. I think, dark L sounds definitely would recommend. That's going to be my biggest suggestion there. If you only had one word to practice out of all those, then I would choose girl because your R sound is just missing. Hello to Nana. Thanks for the well wishes. Merry Christmas to you as well if you're celebrating. Let us know what your plans are for the holidays. By the way, guys, so again, we do have our poll going up. How many family members are you going to see? We have now a tie. Some people are going to see 1 to 2 people tomorrow, and some people are going to see the other biggest group of people are going to see 6 to 10 people. So our 11 plusers, not as many. So just a note on that. But yeah, I want to know, what are you guys doing for Christmas if you're celebrating? Let us know. We are going to a city called Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is a city that used to be famous in the U.S. for having lots and lots of steel mills. But that's where some of my family is. We're going to be traveling there later. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you sent a file. Please send us files in the future as well. And Cafe Dan, good to see you again. Hat looks good on you. Hey, I'll take it. I'm just wearing it to stay warm, but I'll take that as well. Cannot complain about that. Good to see you. Hope you are enjoying the season. All right. I do want to take a quick moment, guys. Let us know again what's going on for Christmas and things. But maybe you are finding this really helpful, but maybe you also want to get practice with me every single day of the week. Well, there's a couple different ways to do that. One of the first things that we have is a group called Mission English. Mission English is a stream. Basically, it's a live stream that we have for what's going to be more than 30 minutes Monday through Friday. In fact, this is actually our schedule starting in January. I'm finalizing when it's going to start. It's probably going to be around the 3rd or the 4th. But this is what's going to be happening in Mission English. We're going to be doing 30-minute live streams twice a day at different times. So that way we can try to hit your time zone. So whatever your times work for you, we're trying to do it at least 3 times a week. So for instance, if that 1:30 time is good for you, where we're doing a 1:30 p.m. New York time on Monday, we're doing that again on Tuesday, we're doing that again on Friday. Maybe the evening times in the US work better for you. So we have an 8 o'clock on Monday, we have an 8 o'clock on Wednesday, and we have an 8 o'clock on Thursday. So all these times, you get 3 options. We also have a conversation class included once a week on Thursdays. So this is all happening in a program that we call Mission English. I just kind of want to highlight for you guys one sec before we describe it a little bit more. This kind of gives you an idea what it looks like. A quick note that sometimes the audio comes in hot, so you may need to turn down your speakers, but this will give you an idea of what we do every single day of the week in Mission English. Ooh, ooh. Notice that for me, I'm not really having that ooh, ooh. And it doesn't sound exactly the same, like ooh and ooh, but they're close enough that for the speech that you're doing in daily life, it'll be okay. Really nice day.
Really nice day.
So what I'm hearing, so I heard really nice day. So what happened was you put day at a lower pitch. Really nice day.
Just loose.
Okay. I would say, I thought for the most part it sounded pretty good. I think there were a couple words that we do want to watch out for a little bit. Hey.
Hey.
Yeah, there you go. That last one's great. So again, in Mission English, you're guaranteed 18 streams a month, but you're often getting much, much more than that. And yeah, so basically there's a chance there you can join me on stream. You're over there, I'm here, and then there's a couple other students in the group as well, and we all get to answer questions. And one of the advantages of it too is that, if you take a one-on-one class, in some ways there's a disadvantage because you don't really know what you sound like because you need to listen to the recording. Because what happens in one-on-one classes is I say something and then you repeat me, and then I say, oh, that's not, we need to make some changes. And you say, yes, okay. But then in your head, you're like, but I said it the same way you did, Jeff. Why do we, what was different? But then you listen to yourself in the recording and you're like, no, that wasn't me. It couldn't have been me. So what I would say is that, yeah, that's why the group class is great, because you hear other people and you hear my feedback for them, and then you can actually notice the difference a lot more easily. And plus it's just a lot more fun because it's just, one-on-one is kind of just, you and a teacher, we get work done, but it's, I think it's a lot more entertaining and enjoyable when there's other people. We track our progress, we congratulate each other and things like that. So again, Mission English, definitely recommend it. Some other notes here. Emmanuel's back. His tip box is getting low. Oh no. How many more hours do you have, Emmanuel, before the carolers stop coming? Oh man. Not a good sign. Edward says, Pittsburgh also known for its car manufacturing. That's, if you think car manufacturing, the big city in the US you think of is Detroit. Pittsburgh's definitely more the steel mills. There may have been some car manufacturing, but overwhelmingly Detroit. Question here, can I join if I don't have a webcam? For Mission English, yeah, sure. We have people that they take the camera off as long as you have a microphone. In fact, you don't even really need to join the live sessions. One of the other advantages too, it's a private, so Mission English is a private Facebook group, so you get access to all of the previous classes. That's the other great thing about it. So we already have 60, 80 classes on there, so you can see all of those. And kind of practice on your own as well. So you're not just getting the live classes, you're getting everything. And again, it's one price for the month. And you can go to fluentamerican.com/Mission English for that. Okay. Plenty of hot wine. There we go. Spread that cheer, Emmanuel. Spread that cheer. Almost said spread that cheer. Spread that cheer. And again, if you go to fluentamerican.com/Mission English, you will see. Or you can just go to fluentamerican.com as well and check it out. We would love to have you in the group. We have lots of fun. Okay, but you guys came for more feedback, so let's give you some more feedback. I'm going to share my screen and my sound. Okay, who is this?
A zealous fanatic, you call me the serpent who first presented the fruit of my poetry to the wife, and so gained the opportunity to seduce the husband.
Wow, that was quite impassioned. Okay, what is this one here? Oh, wow, we got lots and lots and lots of files here. Cool. Excited about that. We're at 40. Next timestamp. I think it was this one, right?
A zealous fanatic, you're calling me the serpent who first presented the fruit of the wife, and so gained the opportunity to seduce the husband.
Okay. I feel like there's a lot happening here. Let's listen again.
A zealous fanatic, you're
I would not have, if the text were not here, I don't know if I would have caught this as being zealous.
a zealous fanatic.
Almost sounds like one. Okay, so the first thing is it almost sounds like one syllable, like Zos. That's almost what I feel like I'm hearing. Zos
A zealous fanatic.
versus zealous. So I need clearer syllables. Notice that second syllable will have more of a short I followed by that S. Like a zealous fanatic, and I would have stressed zealous. I would not have stressed fanatic. A zealous fanatic.
A zealous fanatic, you're
And I do think you stress fanatic, so I just need excuse me. I do think you're not stressing fanatic. You're not stressing fanatic. Excuse me. But I do need zealous to have two syllables more clearly demarcated.
a zealous fanatic, you're calling me the serpent.
How about that would have as well?
A zealous fanatic, you're calling.
I'm not hearing a zealous fanatic would have. That's the words that your listener is probably going to be listening for. If it's would have, like a zealous fanatic would have, a zealous fanatic would have, a zealous fanatic would have. So something like that is the progression I was more expecting.
Zealous fanatic, you're calling me the serpent.
Because I'm definitely not hearing the would have called. I'm not hearing the would at all. So just a note there on the pronunciation.
You're calling me the serpent.
Call me the serpent. So you're using resonation there?
Fanatic, you're calling me the serpent who first.
Serpent. You could have weakened like your first syllable on serpent, that R.
Call me the serpent.
Sir sounds great. I really like that R sound. R can be such a tricky letter. So I always like to bring that up when I hear a nice R sound. But that second syllable, just watch out. I would use more short ice, like int, serpent. Would call me the serpent. Would have called me the serpent.
Serpent.
Because I feel like a serpent versus serpent. Just a note.
Call me the serpent who first presented the fruit of my poetry to the wife.
Presented the fruit of my poetry to the wife.
Fruit of my poetry to the wife.
To the wife. This kind of has a little bit of a choppiness to it. The consonants are a little heavy.
Presented the fruit of my poetry to the wife.
The fruit of my poetry to the wife.
Presented the fruit of my poetry to the wife.
Who first presented the fruit of my poetry to the wife. Okay. Elchin says that they have a grammar question. Feel free to ask it, Elchin. I love grammar. I didn't do a pronunciation channel. I would have done a grammar channel, but there's already so many grammar channels out there.
The fruit of my poetry to the wife.
So some opportunities where you can kind of smooth this out and weaken some of your consonants. Presented the fruit. So notice there, presented the. I can go a little smoother there, linking that presented that id sound with that th on the. Presented the. Fruit of my poetry. It's like fruit of my. So again, that's another place where you could just kind of weaken the consonants a little bit with that fast D sound on fruit of. Okay, so instead of fruit of, more fruit of, a really weak, fast D sound. There is another option if you're trying to smooth things out.
To the wife, and so again.
To the wife, that's another option too. It's like to the wife. It doesn't have to be to the wife.
And so again, that presented the fruit of my poetry to the wife.
Do that to the wife, reverses to the wife. A lot of times to the becomes to the wife. Just note there another place where you could smooth things out a little bit if you'd like.
And so again, the opportunity to seduce the husband.
And again, some syllables here are getting a little bit lost.
To the wife. And so again, the opportunity to.
And so gain the opportunity.
Of my poetry to the wife. And so again, the opportunities.
And so gain the. I feel like that part there, the pitches are almost the same. So gain the. And so gain the. I would try to maybe just send everything down a little bit. And so gain the opportunity to seduce the husband. It's like, and so gained and and so gain the something like that. Just kind of move around the pitches a little bit more so things don't run together too much. We do need some more contrast. Would be a little helpful here.
And so gain the opportunity to
So again, opportunity. So once we get to opportunity, now we're adding some more contrast. Now we're adding some more pitch variation, which is great. So gain opportunity. Good. I like that progression there. That's a good movement. Very clear.
so gain the opportunity to seduce the husband.
Opportunity to seduce.
Opportunity to seduce the husband.
Seduce. Opportunity to seduce. We're kind of losing that first syllable on seduce again. So what we've seen a couple times in this section here, where some syllables are just kind of getting almost removed completely, which is going to affect comprehension as well. It's like opportunity to seduce. I would read it that way. It's like opportunity to, and opportunity to, that's a great combination. That's a relatively frequent collocation there. So I would definitely practice saying opportunity to. Notice that that's a common way of kind of relinking it with like a fast D sound and a reduced sound on two. So instead two becomes the opportunity to, and then you're going to do another schwa sound on sa. Opportunity to seduce, and then we'll go higher. Seduce, opportunity to seduce.
Wife, and so gain the opportunity to seduce the husband.
And then husband. I do think on husband.
Opportunity to seduce the husband.
It's a ha. I feel like you're giving me a almost getting into territory, like lock or stop. But again, you want a little bit more schwa sound somewhere. Husband. Husband. So just a note there. So say husband, more husband. Okay. All right, Shok, if there's anything there that is not clear, be sure to let me know. But thank you for sending this file. Lots of fire on this. That was very, we talk about sometimes people sounding flat and things like that. I don't think that's the case here. Lots of variation in pitches. So there are some places where we could do it even more. But I think the biggest thing here is just kind of watching out for some places where the syllables almost get lost. Okay. Thank you so much for sending that file. We, as always, appreciate it. Couple people stepped into the house. What's up, Zabeta? Great to see you, miss. Hope you're doing okay. Staying safe. What's the difference between recap, revise, and review? Question. Great question. Okay. So I'm going to start with the middle one, actually. So revise means like to edit or make changes to something to make it better, hopefully. Revise. So for instance, you might revise a paper. Recap means to give a summary of something. So for instance, like maybe one of your friends saw a movie that you haven't seen. You'd be like, hey, just give me a recap. Like what happens in the movie? Just kind of tell me the major. It's like a summary. Summarize it for me. Give me the short form. And review means to like check something or to look it over. Okay, so for instance, if you submit an application for something, they'll say, thank you, we're going to review it. Okay, so we'll take a look at your application. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Let me know. If you have any questions there. Oh, wow. Guarda chi è entrato. Ciao, Denny. E da tanto. Good to see you, sir. Hope you're doing okay. Let us know what's going around for you. What are you doing for Christmas, man? How many people are you seeing? Like 40? Southern Italy is crazy. Oh, where are we taking a walk? Where are we walking? Emmanuel says it's 9 p.m., so they should expect less carolers around this hour. Cool. Oh, they start early. They start at 4. Oh, snap. Oh, my gosh. 4 to 9 p.m., you have to be waiting for carolers the entire time? Oh, my gosh. Like, I feel like even like for Halloween, it's usually like maybe like 5 to 8 or something like that. Maybe a little later than that. I don't know. That seems like a long time. Thank you, sir. We're going to do some traveling. Other people need to let us know what their plans are. Edward, mention it again, recap, summarize, or give a synopsis. If you're looking for a verb to use with synopsis, like give a synopsis of something. Ah, man. Stay safe, man. Take care of yourself. It'd be crazy, man. That's great. That is great. Daniel, are you going to do any cooking? You're going to leave that to the parents? Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay. Who next? Also checking in again on our poll. I want to know how many family members are you going to see tomorrow? 11 plus has dropped to actually last. Okay, but in its place, first place is now 6 to 10 people you're expecting to see on Christmas. Next highest amount is 1 to 2. That's a pretty big difference. So people are either seeing 1 to 2 other people tomorrow, or they're going to see 6 to 10 people. That's a pretty big difference there. Let us know in the poll. By the way, guys, another question too. If this is your first time watching us, you're like, who is this guy? What is he doing? What is he listening to? Why is he doing all this? Well, welcome. This is the Schwa Mill, part of a show that we have every single Saturday at this time, where we take a look at pronunciation files that people send me, and we get suggestions to help people sound even more natural in American English. The goal of the Schwa Mill is to help you craft your accent. This is our Christmas edition, which is not very different than our normal edition. I just changed the background to add some pine, like evergreen stuff, and some lights. But besides all that, yeah, we're going to be listening to files and things like that, because basically we have a document right here. Dum, 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 dum. Denny's saying that they got to get going. Okay. 2023 is our year, man. Merry Christmas. Buon Natale. Abicura di te, okay? I will see you later, Denny. Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it. And yeah, so basically we have a document. You can't really see it in that screen because that's a little small, right? Yeah, so let's make it a little bigger. So this is our document. People can send us files. People have already sent us more files, which is great. The singer didn't even hide anything. He's just like, yo, I'm the singer. And that's it. And that's great. He sent a long file, so that's something to look forward to. And yeah, so people send us files. You can do us the same thing. If you go to the top, or if you go to the video description, you'll see the link where you can send in your own pronunciation files. Now is not the best time to send us pronunciation files. Cool. Then maybe next week or the week after that. We use this same link so you can save it and come back at a time when it's convenient for you. We usually update it on Fridays in case you want to send a file in the future. Okay. Before we take a look at our next one, a quick question here.
Question.
If I say I have to review English grammar, what do you think it means? If you say you're going to review some English grammar, that means you're going to study some grammar that you've already studied previously, but you're just trying to perfect or improve on. That's how I would interpret that if you said that to me. So I hope that helps. Okay, let's see what's going on. Let's go for this middle one here. Who this? Emmanuel says the singer's going to sing for us this Christmas Eve. I can't wait. It's going to be a long file, so get excited for that. Let's take a listen to this.
Out of all the places you could be spending your holidays, you decided to be here at the Schwa Mill with the most wonderful American English teacher. Merry Christmas, Jeff, and happy holidays, everyone.
You funny, huh? You funny. You are funny. Let me play this again. Hang on. Thank you, Zabeda. Thank you for asking that question earlier. Thank you for saying your kind words, sir.
Out of all the places you could be spending your holidays.
Out of all the places. So you're kind of stressing places. Oh, Orange makes a note too. This is their second live stream. He's seen many recordings. That's great. I'm glad you're sending us files. That's so. I'm always get excited when new people send us files, or like people get new in the sense that they haven't sent files in the past, but now they're sending files. That's always exciting to see. And thank you. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that.
Out of all the places you could be spending your holidays.
Out of all the places you could be spending your holidays, I would have actually just done one stress on that phrase. I would have stressed all. All is one of those words that very commonly, like all the blank, all the noun, very often, not always, but very often, all is the word that gets stressed. Like all the time, or like all the places, all the people. You know, it's just one of those words that very often receives the stress. Okay? Out of all the places you could be spending your holidays, I wouldn't stress holidays.
Out of all the places you could be spending your holidays.
because it's like you're kind of out of all the places you could be spending your holidays. So you're going to stress on places and holidays. But again, I would not stress holidays, and I wouldn't stress places. Out of all the places you could be spending your holidays. And then also rising intonation, holidays. Now, of all the places you could be spending your holidays, that's personally how I would read it. Okay. Mr. Go Big or Go Home is back. It has been a minute, sir. We applaud people who find their way back home to us. Great to see you once more. Sorry about Nightbot. Nightbot is not behaving. Bad Nightbot. Going back.
Your holidays. You decided to be here.
You decided to be here. You decided to be here. Not what I was expecting, but not wrong. You could stress here. You decided to be here with a falling intonation. You decided to be here. Like I was expecting that. You decided to be here. You decided to be here. With a really high pitch. You decided to be here. But that's a kind of a muted way of saying it if you keep the pitch lower. So I think it can still work and sound pretty natural doing that.
You decided to be here.
You decided to be here. You decided to be here. So I do think that works. It just wasn't what I was expecting.
Decided to be here at the Schwa Mill. Out of all the places you could be spending your holidays, you decided to be here.
Yeah, in terms of like vowel sounds and things like that, I think everything's okay. I think the big thing was just kind of stress.
At the Schwa Mill.
At the Schwa Mill. At the Schwa Mill.
At the Schwa Mill.
At the Schwa Mill. At the Schwa Mill. I would have maybe gone a little higher as pitch on schwa. At the Schwa Mill. At the Schwa Mill. I said at the Schwa Mill. More at the Schwa Mill. You decided to be here. At the Schwa Mill. Something like that. I would just go a little higher on the pitch.
The Schwa Mill, with the most wonderful American English teacher.
With the most wonderful American English teacher. With the most wonderful American English teacher.
English teacher. Wonderful American English teacher.
The most something here. Wonderful American English teacher. With the most wonderful American English teacher. I would maybe go a little higher. I would go a little higher pitch on teacher. This is almost like a 3 or 4 word group where you stress the first word a little bit. Then you have your second and third word. And then your last word, raise the pitch just a little bit. Okay. Most wonderful American English teacher. Just go a little higher on pitch on teach. Most wonderful American English teacher.
Full American English teacher. Merry Christmas, Jeff.
Merry Christmas, Jeff. So like this sort of situation, like if you're saying like a greeting or something nice, like Merry Christmas, person, whoever you're talking to, you would expect that whoever you're talking to have a slightly higher pitch. Merry Christmas, blank. Merry Christmas, Jeff. So go a little higher on Jeff.
Merry Christmas, Jeff.
Otherwise, it can kind of sound a little sinister. Like, Merry Christmas, Jeff. Like, Merry Christmas, Jeff. Like, it sounds like, what are you going to do to me? So I would just make it sound a little friendlier, again, a little higher pitch.
Christmas, Jeff.
And often a rising intonation. Like, Merry Christmas, you. Like, rising intonation can also kind of soften that, make it sound a little friendlier as well. Okay?
And happy holidays, everyone.
Same thing there. Happy holidays, everyone. And happy holidays. Happy holidays, everyone. Happy holidays, everyone. So very similar pattern that Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Jeff. And happy holidays, everyone. Like something like that, I think would be a more common pattern.
And happy holidays, everyone.
Instead of that falling intonation in lower pitches. Okay. So those would kind of be my big suggestions there. In terms of like actual sounds, I think it's pretty good. But I think the things that are going to help this sound even more natural are just some of those things related to pitch and choosing which words to stress. Okay, these are also, again, shadowing. This is where shadowing comes up. Shadowing as often as you can. Just kind of get used to rhythms and things. But again, these are all suggestions too. Different people are going to say things slightly different ways. Okay. If you do have a question about anything there, be sure to let me know. But thank you so much for sending that file. Always appreciate it. Always great to work with you and things like that. Okay. Some things in the chat that I have missed. Doing my best here. Let's see what we got. Elchin says, question. Grammar question, if you don't mind. Came early because if he had not, he would have been fired. This kid used if and because. Came early because, yeah, For sure. Why did he come home early? He came home early because if he hadn't, okay. Yeah, so you can use if and because together. And then a question here, because if you're not, additional clause, or an adverbial one. It's kind of both, right? Because, so you do have your adverb clause, but then you have that if as a part of it. Because, and then you're giving your reason. He came home early because this. But that's fine. You can follow with a clause, with another clause. Hopefully that answers your question, but yeah, that's fine. Cafe then says, I didn't know it's easy to submit an audio file like that. Yeah, man, we're trying to keep things simple here. I'm not trying to be complicated, guys. That's the last thing I'm trying to do. I'm trying not to keep things complicated for me. My God, if things get complicated for me, I go crazy. It's not even about you guys. It's about me. Orange. Gingy asks, how can I lower placement and pitch? Great questions. I mean, we have a whole playlist about this. That is a huge question. So the first thing I'm going to do is kind of just direct you to, a whole playlist that we have that is dedicated to that very thing. Maybe you've seen it already. Give me a moment. So this is again our channel. I'll make that bigger. Okay. So if you go down, we have this right here, the 7-day American English Placement Challenge. So I would definitely recommend going there to start. Okay. In addition to that, if you go down to, I used to have it here, but maybe I moved it. Okay, I did move it. But if you go to the right, you get this like search icon. And if you type in pitch, you see all of our pitch videos as well. Okay, so I would especially do the pitch workout and also this pitch for speaking. I would start with these 2 videos to get started. But so some basic things with this. This is an important question, so I do want to kind of spend some time with this. Just a note. So we have all kinds of breathing. So the first thing I can help with that is breath. We have lots of videos that kind of talk about breathing. I mean, lots of videos talk about breath and things. So one of the things that can help lower placement is getting more air through your throat. So one of the ways you can kind of do that, a real quick exercise is to take your fists. We're not going to box, guys. I'm not going to win that fight. But if you take your fists and you put them on your ribs, you see my ribs right there. And if I take a big breath in, you can't. It's going to be hard to see on the camera, but what you're going to feel, maybe you can see that a little bit. My chest expanded when I did that. And then if I exhale, you see everything kind of retracting again. So we want to, when you're talking in English, basically what you want to happen is you want to feel that contraction slowly. But the reality is if you're breathing through your lungs, like a lot of languages are really kind of just using their lungs to project sound. Which is fine. You can do that in American English and people will still understand you, but it won't give you necessarily the most natural sound because you're not using your diaphragm. We want to engage the diaphragm a little bit more. So try saying something with that exhale. So for instance, take a big breath in again with your hands on your ribs. And then let's use the E sound. So I'm going to say E 5 times or 6 times. And as I do that, I'm going to be exhaling and my ribs are going to be contracting. So try to feel your ribs contract as you do that. And I don't know if you could see that quite in this angle, but as I was doing that, my fists were slowly contracting as my ribs contracted. So that's something you can try doing. Okay. Another exercise you can do is playing around with pitches. Take the E sound again. Say whatever feels natural to you. Just if it sounds like E, maybe in your first language it sounds more like E. Cool. Now see if you can take that down 5 or 6 times. E, 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 E. Something like that. You can then go from that low point and then see if you can take it back up. So E, 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 E. Can you go higher? E, 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 E. And then go back down to your midpoint. E, 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 E. So just kind of moving around like that. You know, just doing scales like that. You can join everything together, like you know, just doing that, like you know, and just kind of doing those things to kind of expand your pitch range and things like that. So those are things that we cover in the videos, including much more. But those are just some things you can do to kind of get started. But I definitely recommend going through the videos. Okay. Cafe Den also recommends trying to sing a song and reach that lowest note. Yeah, certainly can help. You know, a lot of singers, something I also often mention is that if you listen to a lot of like British English singers, when they actually sing, they kind of sound more American. One of the reasons for that is they're just getting so much more breath through, you know. Question here as well.
Question.
How to increase air quality in voice? Adding breath. 100% adding more breath to what you're saying. So again, that breathing exercise we talked about with the ribs, in addition to other if you search on the channel for breath videos, we go through even more exercises you can do to try to increase breath. Okay. And Cafe Den also suggests singing a high note requires more air. Just be careful with those high pitches too, because sometimes people close off the breath. Manual notes wanted to give that fireplace reading vibe. So they were the last audio file we listened to. I think you definitely had that. I still think some of those pitch things are going to help, you know, take away sometimes occasionally some of those, I don't want to say like sinister tones, but some of those kind of like darker ones. Yeah. Yep. Edward, he came early lest he was fired. That is what are we talking about? I feel like I missed something. Cafe Den said they sent us a file. Great. Okay. Nice to have a playlist. Cool. Yeah, definitely check out that playlist. I think it's going to be helpful for you. Nelson says, thanks for answering the question. No, man, thank you for asking. You know what I mean? Thank you for asking. All right, we're going to take a look at some more files in a moment. But before we do that, just some quick reminders to help me out. Like what you're hearing? Let us know by liking and subscribing. Usha says, honestly, I did not know one clause could be composed of two clauses. It can get super complicated. Like you can have like a noun clause that's like an object of your sentence that then has multiple adjective clauses and adverb clause and things. It can get super embedded and complicated. There's technically no limit to how many clauses you can have. It's just unusual. The way I often think about clauses in a sentence is kind of think of it like juggling. If you guys are used to like juggling like balls in the air, every time you add a new clause, you are adding like another ball to the amount of juggling your listener is doing. You know, it's like if you just have like one or two clauses, that's pretty easy to juggle, right? But if you have like 3, 4, 5 clauses, you know, your listener can still do it, but it suddenly becomes much more difficult. Edward saying it's an alternative. Oh, okay. That's kind of what I figured. Just wanted to be sure. Okay, thank you. Okay. Kevin says, I would recommend this channel to all the people I know. Thank you. I appreciate that. You guys are so sweet. That would be a wonderful Christmas present. All right, let's go back to some files. Allow me to share me screen once more. I need to be on the right one. Let me see. Really quick. Elchin asks, before we get to our next file, any book suggestions on clauses in English? How technical do you want to go? Do you want to go like student level, or do you want like the resource that teachers use to study grammar? One of my favorite grammar books video thing. What is it? Teachers Grammar of English. There's an author. Basically, you know, one of my favorite publishers is they changed the cover. Is Cambridge. You know, Cambridge books for like grammar and things like that usually are great resources. This is the book that I have. I really like grammar. Grammar is one of my favorite things. I want to learn grammar. This will give you a very technical answer to all different kinds of grammar elements, including clauses. The author again is Ron Cohen. This is one of my favorite resources. I don't teach as much grammar, solid background on, but there's, if I'm looking through the book, there's still things I learn about things. They also go through different practice exercises that you can do as well. Just a note. Okay, I'm sharing my screen. I'm sharing my audio. Things are good. Everything is happening the way it should happen, which is great. Okay, who's this?
When you equate financial wealth and personal happiness, it is like comparing apples and oranges. This is because they are independent and different from each other.
Okay. Forget if I missed a timestamp or if we just answered a lot of questions. We're at 110. 59. Okay. Got it. I think it was this one, right? It's a long one.
When you equate financial wealth and personal happiness, it is like comparing apples and oranges. This is because they are independent and different from each other.
Okay. Lots of great stuff here. Thanks for sending this file. That's the kind of book they're looking for. Great. Yeah, it's one of my favorites. By the way, there's another because Elchin, you're an English teacher, right? There's another book I need to talk about after this file. Let me see if I can find it. Right after I do this file, I'm going to try to find a book. But anyways, let me hear this again.
When you equate financial wealth and personal happiness.
Okay, I really like that. That was a great intonation, great rising intonation on happiness. Like when you equate financial wealth and personal happiness, good, really great rising intonation, supernatural sounding. Really like that.
When you equate financial wealth and personal happiness.
And Cafe Dan says music contestant. Like, yeah, it's One Direction. So when I go away, you guys can't hear that as well, right? And I have a mixer, so it gets power.
When you equate financial wealth and personal happiness.
So a couple little things. There are some reductions that I think we could take even more advantage of.
When you equate financial wealth and
because what's happening here is you're giving me kind of the same pitch like over and over again. When you equate financial wealth, so you're giving me like maybe a range of maybe like 3 pitches, and I would say, hey, can we like expand that? Can we like double it or something? Just to kind of use more like when you equate. So I would even consider adding a stress on you just to kind of increase our range. Like when you equate, because right now you're just doing when you equate financial wealth.
When you equate financial wealth.
When you equate financial wealth, so you that's kind of the pattern we're getting. But I would do when you equate financial wealth to personal happiness. When you equate financial wealth and personal happiness, in fact, maybe that's what I would do. I would maybe not even stress financial wealth. I would just stress you. When you equate financial wealth and personal happiness, and then happiness. When you equate financial wealth and personal happiness, something like that. When you equate financial wealth and personal happiness, but you could do equate. That's another option. When you equate financial wealth and personal happiness, but that to me sounds like there's a lot of information beforehand that has already been said. But if this is like new information for your listener, then I would maybe do it on you. When you equate financial wealth and personal happiness, besides stresses to play around with.
When you equate financial worth and
So the other advantage too of like doing the stress pattern I did is it's going to allow you to flow more, because right now you're kind of choppy when you equate financial wealth, personal happiness. Like it's just kind of choppy. Whereas like if you do those stresses I said, it's going to let you flow a little bit more. Okay. Some other things.
when you equate
I like how you link when you keep that breath flowing. That was good.
financial worth and the personal
Wealth. Can you say wealth? That L? I would start off with just like L, well. I would even just say, can we get those really clear? L, well, L, well, L, well. And then you can add that TH in. L, well, wealth, L, well, wealth, L, well, wealth. Okay. You have my number too. You can send me a file yourself saying that if you'd like. But L,
when
well,
you
well.
equate financial worth and the personal
Because
happiness
I'm here with versus wealth. So trying to again lower the placement, more breath coming through. Okay. Financial wealth.
financial worth and the personal happiness
Personal. I like personal.
financial worth and the personal
Maybe it's a little bit more on per personal per personal, because that's personal. That per is your stress and personal. It's not personal.
worth and the personal
Do that per versus per. Do you think you get a little bit more breath through?
happiness
Happiness. Here I'm saying happiness. So stress that's pretty strong. The e-ness part I want you to try to make a little weaker, because those syllables are not stressed. Happiness.
personal happiness
It's not happiness. It's happiness. That last syllable is actually more short-eyed than sound. So it's not happiness. It's happiness. Okay. I don't have the text for the rest of it, but just some quick things here.
it is like comparing apples and oranges
Contractions. This is a great opportunity to use a contraction. So it is like, the more common way you're going to hear it, it's like, I strongly recommend, English learners, they can use more contractions. I think it's going to be something that really helps you sound more natural. It's like,
yes it is like
versus it is like. If you do use the full form, then you probably want to stress it. It is like, not it is like, no, it is like, or it's like, one of those.
comparing apples and oranges
Apples. Watch out for that dark L sound link with the Z. Apples is like apples. It's like apples.
apples and oranges
Oranges. It's oranges. You kind of choppy there, right? Like the floor. I say oranges, more oranges. Heavy stress in the first syllable. Second, third syllables will make them really weak. Keep the breath flowing. You don't need to say them perfectly. Oranges. Like apples and oranges. Okay.
this is because they are independent
So again, that last syllable on independent. A lot of times what's happening is you're giving me S sounds at the end of words, but a lot of times these syllables are actually more short I. So like in, it's it's more independent.
because they are independent
They are their. This is because they're independent. You're stressing independence. So they are. I would use the contraction again and I would reduce it. So instead of they are, I would use they're independent. This is because they're independent. That's how I would reduce that.
and different from each other
And different from, don't stress each other, stress different and different from each other. Just because they're independent and different from each other. Just because they're independent and different from each other. Okay. This file is a little bit long, so I'm going to move on to our next one. But hopefully this gives you lots of things to kind of consider for this. Lots of great things and also some room to help this sound even more natural. But thank you so much for sending this file. Can't do this without you guys. Cannot do this without you guys. Okay, before we take a look at our last file, I just want to again check in the chat. Oh, there's a book I need to find too. We'll take a look at. But before we do, what did I miss? From American, what does when in doubt, draw it out? Some context on this would be helpful. But basically, like when in doubt, like map it out, draw it out, write it out. Like it's just like physically, like on paper or something, like write out your idea or plan it out or physically draw it. Because sometimes if you're not sure about something, instead of just like thinking and going through thought experiments in your head, actually go through the, get like a physical version of it. It can help remove doubts or help you think through something more clearly. That's usually the meaning of things like that. She says they did read some grammar books like Oxford Guide to English Grammar. That's definitely technical. The book I sent you is also going to be technical, just to note. However, they give lots of examples. Again, it's a teacher's resource. It's not designed for students. It's designed for teachers, usually native speakers. It says, I still have some doubts about grammar. Oh, for sure. Like, again, even native speakers. I still learn things about grammar. You know, my grammar is not perfect. Question here from Manuel.
Question.
Can you reduce it's like even more? Like, it's like, yeah, for sure. You definitely can. It's like something like that. Okay. Give me 1 second, guys. I want to see if I can find a textbook that, again, for your teachers out there, that it's one of my favorite books from a teaching perspective. The methodologies are super helpful. They're also the methodologies that you find if you're interested in doing like a CELTA course or a Delta, or just like more communicative language teaching. It's a super effective resource. Give me a second to find that. While I am, though, a note. So one of the other ways you can also get feedback. So maybe Mission English. Mission English is $30 a month to join us every single day of the week for multiple streams. And in fact, we talked about it a little bit earlier. You join at fluentamerican.com/Mission English. And basically what we do is we do live streams where you join me on screen and we answer your questions. And this is what our schedule is going to look like multiple times. So basically you can join me for all of these streams. Every single one of these is a half hour. You can join me for all of them for 30 minutes for each one. All these come for $30 a month. But maybe that's a little bit expensive for you right now. So another option on Telegram. Telegram for $5 a month. What you do is you can join our Telegram group. And every day I post a challenge and you can submit your own audio files and I give suggestions, kind of like what we do here every single day. So kind of just give you an idea what that looks like. Take a look at this.
Eel, please. I think your O sounds are a little bit tense. I'm getting a lot of O. Take off the T on center.
Be right there. 1 second. This is the book I was looking for. Oh my gosh, I need some water. My throat is killing me.
Like what you're hearing? Let us know by liking and subscribing.
Oh yeah, stay hydrated, people. Yes, this is the book. This is my favorite teaching resource. It's called Learning Teaching. It's probably one of my favorite teaching books. It's thick. Okay, it's definitely not something you're just gonna read in a weekend. But if you're able to do this and you're taking notes and everything like that, and I think you're going to find it super, super helpful. I just found a note from someone I had interviewed back when I was a teacher. I mean, a centered academic director. Oh, yeah. I'll have to read that later. I forgot all about that note. Anyways, Learning Teaching. That book is called Learning Teaching. It's going to walk you through the entire process of how to become a great language teacher, but also just if you're a teacher of other subjects too, there's things in that, language teaching isn't really that special. Language teaching is just good teaching. Honestly, you can apply everything from teaching language to other subjects as well. And it's great. But again, that's called Learning Teaching. And that's either by Oxford or Cambridge as well. That's another book to check out. Such a great book, such a great resource. Okay, did we listen to this? I'm checking files really quick. We did not listen to that one yet. Okay. All right. And Elshin, of course, happy to share. Checking again on our poll too. Let me know, how many family members are you going to see on Christmas? I want to know. In the lead right now, 6 to 10. In second place, 1 to 2. Third place, 11 more. And then last one, 3 to 5. It's just a note there. Question. How do you say interrogative and some other words from this family? Interrogative. Do you mean like cases? Like, for instance, it's an interrogative. You'll hear, I think it depends on context. If you're talking grammar, you're going to hear more interrogative. But I feel like if you're kind of describing something like you're being interrogated or something like that, not very common usage, but I would do that as interrogative. So I do think some context is helpful. Can you give me, when you say other words from this family, can you give me some examples? Which family specifically, like Ivs? Just some more help on that would be helpful.
Question.
Edward, is this grammar book useful or helpful if you intend to take IELTS or TOEFL tests? Honestly, no. I mean, it doesn't hurt. Don't get me wrong, but it's really more of a teacher's resource to kind of get ideas for grammar points and designing activities for those grammar points. So it explains the grammar super well. If there's a grammar point that you have questions about, it's a helpful resource. But I don't think like reading like page 1 to page like 500 of that book is going to help you a whole lot for IELTS. I'll be honest. If I were studying IELTS, I would focus less on grammar. I would focus more on doing lots of writing, and I would focus on doing lots of speaking, specifically with native speakers if possible. I wouldn't spend a whole lot of time studying grammar necessarily. I would just get used to seeing the structures that native speakers use a lot. Okay. This is my recommendation. Quick note here, when I practice my English, I record myself speaking. I listen to it right after, and I feel like that I sound all right now in 10. But then a day later, when I go back, I realize how off I was. Yeah, that distance is super important. Whenever you create something, whether it's like an audio file or video or piece of writing, having a little bit of distance is always super, super helpful, in all honesty. Because then, when you just look at it the minute you make it, you're very biased. But if you go back like a day later, a week later, you kind of create more distance, and I think that's a great thing to happen. I think it's a very common experience. Elshin asks about those books.
Question.
Those 2 books would be available in PDF. Maybe. My guess is no, though. I think you're going to kind of get stuck with a paper copy. Is there anything I can do for that? No, keep doing it. I mean, again, like, this is also part of the reason why I made Mission English, just to know, because, again, you hear other people, and then you hear the feedback I give them. And so you don't necessarily have to just be judging yourself. You can be listening to other people and seeing what they're doing and things like that. So that's the whole reason why I made, or one of the major reasons I made Mission English, is for that. Besides that, yeah, I mean, another strategy is just embrace it. Make a bunch of audio files on Monday, or make a new audio file every day of the week, and then listen to the previous day's file, or 2 days ago's file, or a week ago's file every day. Things like that. The longer you can go without listening to the file and then analyzing it later, I think the better in general. NRS, what was the name of the test you mentioned last week? One was TOEFL. The other one is probably like IELTS and TOEFL. I used to be an IELTS examiner. For TOEFL, I was a proctor, but I wasn't actually a grader. For IELTS, I was a speaking examiner and a writing examiner. And I'm glad I don't do it anymore. And Emmanuel agrees. Yeah, you tend to be more biased if you listen to it right. 100%. 100%. Okay. Good. Somebody asked about these words.
Question.
Interrogate. Yeah, interrogate. Notice that I'm going to keep the T sound because that T is part of the stress syllable. Interrogate. Interrogation. Interrogative. Again, usually because that's more the question. Like it's an interrogative. It's just a note there. Okay. I'm glad you get a new student. I'm excited for you. Who's the author of Learning Teaching? Learning author is Jim. He's a pretty big name in the field. If you're interested in language learning, he's a great resource. Also, just like psychology too, like behavioral psychology. Jim Scrivener. And Gabriel asks, "Great to see you, sir."
Question.
You get a clap, and you get a question too. Great to see you in the stream. Send us a file sometime. What English text would you recommend? TOEFL or IELTS? I don't know. It depends. Are you more used to hearing British English, or are you more used to hearing American English? If you're more used to hearing British English, then I would go IELTS. If you're more used to hearing American English, then I would go TOEFL. Alshin asks, Jeff, I was always wondering how you would handle it. For instance, 1,000 people send you audio files. That's a great question. It's not something we've run into just yet, but my guess is that what I would probably do is I would probably kind of just choose at random Maybe like prioritize like super chats and things like that for a section of the stream. But yeah, we wouldn't be able to do everyone, so I would have to just select people. Probably a mix of super chats and also people at random. That's a good question. If you have a better idea, let me know. I'm gonna try to get everyone's files today, but it's we're already kind of going pretty long. Next one. How's your day going? It's good. I'm a little cold, but it's good. We're taking a break. We did a lot of traveling, and now we're home for the day, and then we do more traveling tomorrow. So it's just super busy. What are your plans and goals, especially with this channel? Yeah, great question. I mean, my goal is right now I do a decent amount of one-on-one teaching, and my goal is to within the next year, 2 years, to do much less one-on-one teaching and more focus on 1, Mission English, and 2, on the channel. Lots of exciting things coming up. For instance, stay tuned in February-ish. Lenora, if you guys are in the Telegram group, you know Lenora. She's great. She was one of the first teachers I hired a long time ago. But she's going to be starting to make some videos for us soon. So get excited because that's going to be happening in February. But yeah, grow the channel. We've already made a couple new channels with it. We have a shadowing channel. And we also have, again, this Schwa Mill is going to be in part of new channels on its own as well. So just kind of growing here. You know, it'd be great if I could just focus on making content and teach less. But these things take time. Oh, it says millions or millions of subscribers. Oh, thank you for the kind words. All things in time. It's great being able to. The hard thing is when you have millions of subscribers and we do a live stream like this, you know, it's much harder to get to know everyone. You know, it's great getting to know you guys. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. Okay, what's next? What is next? This is one of our the original files. I was specifically asked to wait to do this file because I would have done it too soon, apparently. Let's see what we have here. Oh, timestamps. Oh my gosh. We are getting away from timestamps, guys. We're at 1:31. Let's see what we have here.
She's laughing. What was she laughing about? And how could she sit there and laugh and look so beautiful?
Oh, that that last part was unexpected. Okay, Dustin, if you're here, let us know where this is from. Okay. Let me see. Let's say good luck for this. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for the good luck. Let's see what happens next year. This is okay. So this is a quote from Bryce. So everything I say to you now, I don't know if you've heard the original audio or just pulled the text. So everything I say to you, I have not heard the original text, so I don't know how he said this. So everything I'm going to tell you is just my own biases and my own takes on how to say this. It may not mirror how he actually said it. Just a note. But yeah, let's see what's going on.
She's laughing.
I like that. I think it sounds really natural.
She's laughing.
Good. You know, some people reduce the E sound and do like shiz, but you're keeping it strong. Like she's good, and that's great. She's laughing. Heavier stress on laughing. You're raising your pitch on laughing. These are all things you want to do.
Laughing.
I like your short eye on the ing. So it's not ing. It's not laughing. It's laughing. Good short eye. I like that a lot.
She's laughing. What was she laughing about?
What was she laughing about? Good shadowing. Yeah. So what was she laughing? What was she laughing? So again, I like your variation of pitches. I like your stress sound. I think everything so far sounded pretty good.
What was she laughing about? And how could she sit there and laugh?
How could she sit there and laugh? How could she sit there and laugh?
How could she sit there and laugh?
Sit there and laugh. Personally, I would have liked either sit or laugh to have a little bit more variation in pitch, because right now it's kind of like sit there and laugh. Like, how could she sit there and laugh? How could she sit there and laugh? You know, like, how could she just sit there and laugh? You know, like, it's something like that. Just because right now it's very equal and very balanced. I would have liked more contrast. But again, maybe the way he read it, he did it that way. So I don't know.
And how could she sit there and laugh?
Nice little reductions there at the beginning too.
And how could she sit there?
How could she sit there? How could she sit there? Good movement there in terms of keeping the breath flowing, the linking, like that.
And laugh and look so beautiful.
Look so beautiful. I would have liked beautiful to stand out even more by, that's your heavy stress. So I would have gone a little higher on the pitch. It looks so beautiful.
Sit there and laugh and look so beautiful.
It looks so beautiful. It looks so beautiful. Just a little higher on the pitch, I think would have been very, very helpful there. Actually, sit there and laugh. It looks so beautiful.
There and laugh and look so beautiful.
Maybe also a little bit more open on the full part.
Laugh and look so beautiful.
Because the breath kind of dies. Beautiful, beautiful versus beautiful, beautiful. Just a little bit more breath through on that dark L at the end, I think would have been helpful. Okay. For the sake of time, I'm going to be moving on, but I think everything I said that I liked, congratulations. Sounds great. Just take a look at my suggestions, especially with regards to pitch. But I thought that sounded pretty good. Taking a look again just at our poll, something I want to know, how many people are you going to be seeing on Christmas? Currently in the lead, we have a tie between 1 to 2 people and 6 to 10 people. Then after that, we have 3 to 5, and then 11 plus has sunk to last place, which maybe isn't super surprising. 11 people is kind of a lot of people. Like, for instance, how many brothers and sisters do you guys have? I have one brother. You guys have actually seen him in a couple of videos. I think when you have twins, if you're parents and you have twins, I think it kind of kills your appetite to have more kids because it's a lot. I'm so glad I didn't have twins. But yeah, how many brothers and sisters do you guys have? And are you going to see one more? Okay, so we got some more files. Where are we at? Okay, Elchin says they have one brother too. Yeah, nice having a brother, especially a brother the same age, go through the same things at the same time. One advantage having fun. 6:30. That's our next time. I'm kind of pulling people at random. At this time, I think we're going to have to close submissions. But if you did not send in a file, I hope you guys can send it next week when we do live stream again. Great to hear you. By the way, if you're lurking, if you're in the background and you haven't said anything, can you just do me a favor and just say hi? You can disappear again right after it, but I just want to say hey to you. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas if you let me. Let's take a listen to this one. Elchin. Okay, we'll try to get through as much as we can here, but this is a long file.
One day, a man came up to me and said, "This is your last chance to go slowly to your boss and ask for a pay rise." I just looked at him and smiled. Then he simply put on his jacket and also his hat and went away. And I was just like, what did just happen? I mean, I would have never said such a thing to anyone.
Nick, thank you for coming out of the woodwork. You can go back to hiding if you want, although we'd love to hear from you in the chat more. But thank you. Great to see you. Thanks for saying hey, sir. Okay, let's go see again.
One day.
I think a lot of times when you use one day to start a story, a lot of times that's rising intonation, but this is okay. I personally were like one day. One day,
a man came up to me and said,
a man came up to me.
One day, a man came up to me.
Watch out for that schwa sound up, because I feel like I'm hearing came up versus came up. It's a little bit more schwa and less ah. So it's not up, it's more up. Came up to me.
And said.
Came up to me and said. I would use lower pitch on said. You make sure you're getting that S sound like best or get, said, and said.
Day, a man came up to me and said.
This
is your last chance to go slowly to.
Let me hear that last time.
Came up to me and said, this is your last.
So you're kind of using that z sound. This is your. That's fine. Another way that you're going to hear that too is your. This is your. You're going to hear that z sound become like a zh, like in like fusion or like pleasure, leisure. That zh. You'll hear that a lot for the linking. Just to know.
And said, this is your last chance to go slowly to your boss.
And just quick note spelling on boss. I thought this was gonna be like to your. I wasn't sure if this was like to your bass, like the fish. This is your last chance to go up to your fish. This is the last chance to go to your bass, or to your bass, like your guitar. But no, this is boss. Just a spelling thing there for O.
Came up to me and said, "This is your last chance to go slowly to your boss.
This is your last chance. This is your last chance.
Your last chance to."
This is your last chance. You could go heavier on last and weaker on chance and say last chance. You could do like last chance. This is your last chance. You go lower pitch on chance if you wanted.
Go slowly to your boss and ask for a pay rise.
It should be pay raise. Pay raise. Don't use rise. Rise is a verb. Okay, the intransitive verb. You want pay raise. The A sound. A raise. Okay. Ask for a pay raise. So this is your last chance to go slow to your boss and ask for a pay raise.
This is your last chance to go slowly to your boss and ask for a pay rise.
Ask for a pay raise. Yeah. So you can also lower your pitch on raise as well. Pay raise, because this is a compound noun. So just stress pay, not raise. Pay raise. Pay raise. Ask for a pay raise.
I just looked at him and smiled.
I just looked at him.
Pay rise. I just looked at him.
I just looked at him. I just looked at him. I just looked at him. I just looked at him. I just looked at him.
Ask for a pay rise. I just looked at him and.
I just looked at him. Where looked?
I just looked at him and smiled.
I think we're kind of getting almost into that ooh, like looked versus looked. So watch out for that l. You can see my lips kind of straighten there. Looked. Okay, so make sure you're not doing l. Straighten lips a little bit.
And smiled. Then he simply.
Then he.
And smiled. Then he.
Then he.
And smiled. Then he.
You could link that more and drop the H. So instead of then he, you could also do then he simply. You don't really need the H. Just link with the N. Denny. Just like our friend Denny.
The man smiled. Then he simply put on his jacket.
He simply put on his jacket.
Then he simply put on his jacket.
Watch out for simply. This is one of those tricky combinations where you have a short I followed by an E sound, where it's very easy to do like E for both, like E, simply. But that first syllable is more short I. Simply. Then he simply. So watch out for that short I.
Then he simply put on his jacket.
Same thing that we saw with which word was it? Looked. Same thing that we saw with looked. Put. Same vowel sound. So it's not put, it's more put. Then he simply put on.
He simply put on his jacket.
I feel like I'm hearing put on his versus put on his. Then he simply put on his jacket. Notice that you're not really going to stress anything there but jacket. Put on his jacket. Then he simply put on his jacket. Then he simply put on his jacket. So none of the verb really gets stressed.
Then he simply put on his jacket.
Jacket. You could hold that ass sound a little longer. Jacket. Short I sound on the it. Jacket.
He simply put on his jacket.
Because I feel like I'm hearing jacket versus jacket.
And he simply put on his jacket.
Put on his jacket. It could be a little more jacket.
And also his hat. And
simply put on his jacket and also his hat. Don't really need the also. I probably wouldn't have said also, but it's not necessarily to say it's wrong.
And also his hat and.
Again, hat. I wouldn't maybe look at the ass sound, just kind of get the lips a little tenser. Because it's kind of a sharp sound. It's a little bit unusual in American English. A little more hat.
Went away. And it was just like went away. And also his hat and went away.
Went away. A lot of times that T went away. A lot of times that T is not pronounced. Since it went away more. Went away. I mean, try saying it like 3 times. Went away. Kind of hard to say. Versus went away. So I would personally recommend removing the T. And again, when you have like an N plus a T, usually the T does disappear.
Hat and went away. And it was just like.
And I was just like, you could also go higher on that. And I was just like,
what did just happen?
Like, what just happened? You just grammatically is like, what just happened? You don't need the did. What just happened?
And it was just like, what did just happen? I mean, I would have never said such a thing to anyone.
I would have never said such thing to anyone. Anyone, again, just to add some extra emphasis, you could go way up higher on the pitch on anyone. I would have never said such thing to anyone. Or you could go higher on never. I would have never said such a thing to anyone. Something like that. Something to go higher to. Give me some extra emotion. For the sake of time, I'm going to move to the next file. But Elchin, if you have any questions there, let me know. But thank you so much for sending that in to us. We appreciate it as always. Next up. Ooh, got someone studying. Just some phrases. Oh, whoops. Oh my gosh, almost lost it. Trying to bring it back. Dum, 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 dum. These are the words that we are going to look at. Right here. Dum, 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 dum. And this is our file.
Roof. Full. Pole. Polish. Boast. Blow. Coach. Comb. Collar. Color. Collar.
Okay. We'll go into each of these words a little bit individually, but the biggest thing I want to tell you is that your placement is high and your breath is restricted, so you're not getting a lot of air through. Because if you listen to me say these words and you compare it to yourself, that's going to be a big difference. Okay. So I'll say them really, really fast. That's like roof, fool, full, pull, polish, boast, blow, coach, comb, collar, color, collar. Watch out for those last three, right? Collar, color, collar, collar, color, collar. It's like ah, ah. Those are your big things there. But let's see what you're doing.
Roof.
Not bad there. Pretty open.
Roof.
Good. In general, I like that.
Fool.
You want a little more ooh. Like ooh, foo, fool. Ooh, all, ooh, all. That's kind of the linking you want. Ooh, all, fool. Ooh, all, fool. Ooh, all, fool. That's the progression I would use there.
Full.
I literally hear the placement rising. You say it, full versus full. He's full. Or the truck is full. Or the bag is full. More air through on your dark L sound.
Pole.
Same thing here. Pull. Again, back of the tongue is going super high. Mouth kind of tensing and closing. Placement staying up here versus pull. Same thing with the next word too. Polish.
Polish.
And again, same thing there. Polish versus polish. So again, lower placement. Back of your tongue doesn't need to go as high. You can actually lower your lower jaw slightly.
Boast.
Kind of some movement going on there, right?
Boast.
My guess is your lips are maybe rounding when you're saying that. Boast versus boast. Watch my lips. Boast. See how straight my lips are? Boast. Say it like 3 times. Boast. If you're doing boast, that's a lot of movement there, right? It's just kind of something to watch out for. Get more boast. It could be that your O is too tense. It could be that you're treating it like a diphthong. Maybe your first language has this O sound, and you're treating it more like your first language. Whereas in American English, diphthongs aren't as exaggerated. Okay, in general, we're almost treating it just like one sound as opposed to two. It's just like O. It's probably going to be a similar thing for the next word.
Blow.
Wow, really tense, really high. Blow versus blow. Drop your lower jaw slightly. Try to get more air to pass through and lower your placement. Blow. I would do that progression.
Coach.
Same thing. Coach. Coach. Can you say all of those with your mouth barely moving? So again, coach. Watch my lips. Coach. Can you do that?
Comb.
Comb, 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 comb. Again, watch my lips there.
Collar.
Caller, caller. Go weaker on the second syllable. Go heavy on call, call. Okay. Call, call, call.
Color.
This is color, right?
Collar. Color.
Color. You need to hold your schwa sound longer. So that first syllable, your vowel, hold it longer. Don't go so fast. Color, color.
Collar.
Collar. Go wider. More air. Lower your tongue. Your tongue's a little too high. Collar. Okay, so again, collar, color, collar. Okay, so just a note there. Hopefully that helps out with those words. If you have any questions for me, be sure to let me know. Thanks for sending that file. Hopefully I could use some things you can use. Did have a question. Take a look at. Question. I am out of water. The last bit. Jeff, sorry to ask a strange question, but do I sound American at all? Hypothetically, how much more time do you think it could take me to make a significant change in my accent? Oh my gosh. Elchin, you're a teacher, man. Come on. You know about these questions. All right. But yeah, I mean, I think there's things that you could say and you could, pass pretty well. Yeah, I mean, I would have to. It's hard because I'd want to hear the file again. But I think sometimes it's kind of, again, stress related. I think sometimes the consonants are still a little heavy, So again, just trying to emphasize those vowels a little bit more. Continuing the shadow just to kind of get those stress patterns, 100%. Because, times where you stress a word slightly differently than, where Americans will place the stress, that has a pretty big impact. But yeah, I think in the right phrase, I think like studying like really common collocations, like study some phrases that you use every single day. Again, those are always the phrases I would recommend starting with, and then moving on to other more complicated ones. And in terms of how much more time you think it take, I don't know. If you're doing like an hour a week for a year, that's obviously not going to be as effective as doing like 10 minutes every day for a year. So all kind of depends on how much time are you putting in. I'm all about like small bursts every single day, 5-10 minutes, 20-30 minutes every single day, but never missing a day. The other thing too is not using your first language. If you are serious about learning a language, every time you use your first language, it slows down your practice. Your mind relaxes. You're never going to be as fast as if you just use the language that you're studying. And I know that that's not always possible for a lot of people. You're speaking to family members or your friends and things like that. You're not in a location that does it. I get it. But then we also need to be realistic about your gains. Every time you're using your first language, that's times when your brain is not working as hard. And if you're trying to really grow, then it's trying to limit how often your brain relaxes. You're trying to push yourself constantly. So those are kind of some things. In terms of significant change, like, hey, if you could do and it's also hard too, like, could you say you do an hour every day, but like, if you're doing an hour, the same thing all the time, that's, your brain can get used to things too. It's like, for instance, when you work out at the gym, you have to increase the weight because otherwise your body gets used to it and it doesn't need to work as hard. And then it just kind of plateaus. That's why you need to add more weight, when you go to the gym to like stress your body again. So you need to always find ways to push yourself. So when you say you're doing it every day, what does that hour look like? How much of that are you putting yourself into situations that are difficult for yourself? If you're just like, if your hour a day is like, oh, I'm going to listen to this and just shadow it. Okay, cool. But maybe we need to do more. Maybe we need to actually go on a Zoom call, with some native speakers. Maybe we need to join a book club with native speakers, or maybe we need to do like an online like yoga class with native speakers or things like that. An hour in a situation like that is very different than an hour where, oh, we're just, doing the same thing we've always done our whole lives, So, yeah, same hour, but very different results, right? So, it also depends on how much are you pushing yourself. Most people aren't pushing themselves enough. Myself included. And you know, because it's hard, it's challenging, it's scary. I'm going through one vowel sound each day. Okay, well maybe we can change it up a little bit. Maybe you can do a half hour of one vowel sound, and then another half hour where you try to again do like a Zoom call with native speakers. You know, something like that. I would mix it up. Don't get, you know, once you fall into a pattern, then maybe it's time to switch up the pattern again. An online yoga. Yeah, I mean, like, find things you're interested in. Like, hang on, let me share my screen. I'm in the wrong view. You know, guys, we're in 2023, guys. You know, just about. It's almost 2023. There are no excuses why you can't interact with native speakers. Let's see. New York, Brooklyn. Cool. So I'm going to do search. Okay. But you might be like, but Jeff, I don't live in New York. Cool. I don't either. Doesn't matter. I'm going to find things that say online events. Online events. Because that means it's happening over Zoom or things like that. And I'm going to find something that looks interesting to me. So here are all the virtual yoga things happening over the next week, 2 weeks. So I would find one that looks interesting to me. Try to find one that has a time that works. You know, keep in mind these are in New York time. Okay. So 12:30 p.m. might be 12 a.m. for you. You know, or things like that. But eventually you find things that work for your time zone and you do it. But you're like, but Jeff, I'm not interested in yoga. All right, what are you interested in? You want to do a book club? Let's find a book club. Let's do some reading. I don't know if you want to do a silent book club, but there's a book discussion. Oh, that sounds interesting. Here's a book club. Oh, look at this. A user design book club. Okay. So maybe I'm interested in like programming and things. Okay, so maybe I'll do that. That looks interesting. Training book club, on book club. You know, so whatever your hobby you can do virtually. Type that in. Get interacting with native speakers. Stop studying alone. Start studying with native speakers. Because most likely if you're watching the stream, you can handle it. But it might be scary. And I get it. Super terrifying. But you're trying to grow faster, that's how you do it faster. I got 3 files left. 3 files left. And by the way, I would not, if you're watching this stream and you're understanding what I'm saying, I would not take English classes. Unless like I wouldn't take like an English class to do conversation or an English class to practice speaking. I would do, you know, like the pronunciation stuff, like Mission English, that type of stuff, no one's going to tell you about, you know, but the grammar stuff's not so important. Some people like just keep taking English classes, like, oh, I'll just take an English class, take an English class, take an English class. And then you're not, because that's what's comfortable to you. You know what I mean? So you're not really pushing yourself. What's this one again?
I believe all of them have been with the company for over 5 years and know the ropes. I would say there's a little bit of frustration currently because of our lack of growth.
What does it say? Tips, thanks for questions. Oh my gosh, my throat is raw.
I believe all of them have been with the company for over 5 years and know the ropes.
Okay, let's just kind of do that part again. Ultra saying amazing stream. Hey, I appreciate it. By the way, if you want to help out the stream, here's how you can do it.
Like what you're hearing? Let us know by liking and subscribing.
I believe all of them have.
Emmanuel says he knows the passage. Where's this from? Because I do not. A quick note that
I believe all of them have been with a
I believe all of them. A lot of times, like of them gets reduced to all of them. You know, a lot of times when you have pronouns, that th gets removed. Just a note.
I believe all of them have been with a company for over 5 years.
I believe all of them have been with the company for over. We get a little bit choppy in that middle sequence.
I believe all of them have been with a company for over 5 years.
I believe all of them have been with the company for over 5 years. You know, something like that. I think going from all from company, we get a little bit choppy. You could use more reductions and more linking. Like, I believe all of them have been with the company for over. All of them have been with the company for over. All of them have been with the company. All of them have been with the company for over. So that's again just going down in pitch. If you want to just kind of practice linking, you know, just one option.
And with a company for
company, watch out for that schwa sound. So it's not ka, it's more ka. Company, it's not company, it's company.
Them have been with a company for over 5 years.
Watch out for that R and over. It just kind of disappeared there.
With a company for over 5.
Did a ova versus over 5 years. For over 5 years.
Them have been with a company for over 5 years.
Also, that R in years is missing as well. So maybe you have some British English training. You want to make sure that, again, American English, the R is always going to be present. Doesn't need to be dominant, but it needs to be present. Years for 5 years.
5 years.
I wonder if your first language is Mandarin. One of the things I see with a lot of Asian languages is, like, again, 5 years. 5 years. You're stressing 5. You're stressing the number. It makes sense, right? 5 seems like the important thing. But again, American English, you're actually going to stress years usually. So instead of 5 years, more 5 years. It's been over 5 years.
Been with a company for over 5 years.
Over 5 years. I've been over the company for over 5 years.
And know the ropes.
Ropes. Your O sound is kind of very weak. Your consonants are strong. Ropes versus ropes. The O sound is the part you need. Ropes. Just try and get that vowel a little heavier.
And know the ropes.
Know the ropes. Right? And know the ropes. Go higher pitch on ropes as well, because that's your stress, not no. It's not know the ropes. It's know the ropes and know the ropes and know the ropes. Higher pitch on ropes.
I would say there's a little bit of frustration.
I would say there's a little bit of. I would say there's a little bit of.
There's a little bit of.
There's a little bit of.
I would say there's a little bit of.
Want to hear little?
I would say there's a little bit.
Sounds like on little, you're kind of giving me like an E sound, like little versus little. There's a little bit of. So let's make sure it stays short I. A little bit of.
I would say there's a little bit of frustration.
Try to keep the air flowing at the end of frustration, because it kind of dies there. Frustration versus frustration. Just try to keep that breath flowing, even after it finishes. A little bit of frustration.
I would say there's a little bit of frustration currently because of our lack of growth.
In that last part.
There's a little bit of frustration.
I do like the stress. I think the stresses are in the right spots.
Currently because of our lack of growth.
Currently because.
Say there's a little bit of frustration. Currently because of our.
I like how you're saying currently. Good R sounds there. That's good. Currently is good.
Of frustration. Currently because of our lack.
Currently because of our. Instead of the R, there's a little bit overstressed.
Currently because of our lack.
Currently because of our. Currently because of our lack. I would have kept that reduced. Currently because of our. R sounds like the verb to be. R. Okay. Currently because of our
lack of growth.
I want to hear also lack.
Frustration. Currently because of our lack of growth.
Lack sounds a little tense there and a little high on placement. Like lack versus lack. Just trying to get that lower placement, more breath. Our lack of growth. Currently because of our lack of growth.
Because of our lack of growth.
Lack of growth. So you're stressing lack almost more. I would stress growth. Lack of growth. Currently because of our lack of growth. Higher pitch on growth. That would be the stress I would do. Currently because of our lack of growth. That's how I would read that last part. For sake of time, I'm going to move on from there. But hopefully this gives you some insights on some things to take a look at regards to stress, R sounds, some placement on some things. But thank you for sending that file. Do appreciate it. Emmanuel says, that is from Rachel's English. Like know what video, let me know. Might be a long shot there. Okay, I see 2 files left. This one from Nick. So when Nick sends us a file. Okay. Timestamp. Did I do a timestamp? I did not. 2:05. Okay, let's see what Nick's got.
So what do we learn, Paul? I guess we learn not to do it again.
Okay. Just make sure I'm not missing any questions. Okay. I'm going to play that one more time. As soon as I can find my mouse is wandering somewhere. No stream is complete without me losing.
So what do we learn, Palmer? I guess we learn not to do it again.
Not to do it again. Not to do it again. I guess we learn not to do it again. I was stressed do at the end. Not to do it again. Okay. And not to do it again. Katak, thank you for joining us out. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. I just posted the link once more.
So what do we learn, Palmer? I guess we learn not to do it again.
I feel like this should be the past, right? So what did we learn? Like, what did we learn, Palmer? But that aside, just based on the words we have here.
So what do we learn, Palmer?
So what did we learn? So what did we learn?
So what do we learn, Palmer?
What did we learn, Palmer? So I do like that you're stressing Palmer. Even that little bit of so a little bit. I would also add stress though to learn. Learn is your heavy part there, not Palmer. So what did we learn, Palmer? So what did we learn, Palmer? So what did we learn, Palmer? So I would just add a stress on learn. I think that'd be really helpful. Go higher on the pitch.
So what do we learn, Palmer?
What did we learn, Palmer? Also, as you raise the pitch on learn, that's your heavy stress. I would start Palmer at a lower pitch. Learn, Palmer. What did we learn, Palmer? So what did we learn, Palmer? Okay. Learn is heavy stress.
I guess we learn not to do it again.
I guess we learn not to do it again. I guess we learn not to do it again. Not to do it again. I would stress again do. I guess we and again I would put this probably in the past tense. I guess we learned. I guess we learned.
I guess we learn not to do it again.
Not to do it again. I guess we learn. I guess we learn. Let's do that first part.
I guess we learn.
I guess we learn. I guess we learn. That movement there, I think, is pretty good. I just think raising that pitch on not making that the stress. I mean, raising that pitch on do. I guess we learn not to do it again. I guess we learn not to do it again.
Not to do it again.
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing here is really just pitches on some of our stress words and changing some of our stresses.
So what do we learn, Palmer?
So what do we learn, Palmer?
I guess we learn not to do it again.
I guess we learn not to do it again.
I guess we learn not.
Go also maybe a lower pitch on learn. I guess we learn. I guess we learn. I guess we learn. Guess we learn not to do it again. I guess we learn not to do it again. Learn not to do it again. Okay. This is a short file. Hopefully that kind of gives you some ideas in terms of rhythm and places to add stress. But thank you. Send that file. Hope that's helpful. Thanks so much for saying that, Nick. Always good to hear from you, sir. Thanks to Emmanuel. Let me know about the conversations and things. Okay. All right. Barring any exceptions here, I think then. Whew, someone else tired? I am a little tired. It's been a long stream. Good stream. Long stream. Good stream. Long stream. So I know just the thing for moments like this.
Hey everyone, it's Jeff.
All my troubles seem so far.
Okay, all right.
we have arrived at a very special moment in our stream, which I know is the real reason why everyone is here. And that's okay. I've come to accept this and come to understand it as well. We are about to witness something that has never been heard before by any of our ears, which is basically the whole reason for why we even celebrate the holidays, I'm sure. For some reason, I just highlighted Nightbot. Thank you, Nightbot, for saying helpful content. But yes, this is the moment we've all been waiting for, as Emmanuel has stated. Now, I do have to preface this by saying, give me a moment to share my screen one final time. We have been warned. Oh, you guys can't really read that. It's a little small, right? We have been warned that the length of this is long, but since this is the last stream. By the way, this is not the last stream. It's just the last stream on this channel. Then next week, we're going to move over to the Schwa Mill dedicated channel. Or channel that's just the Schwa Mill. Okay, so we will still be doing Schwa Mills, I promise. It's just on a different channel. But this is going to be the highlight of your weekend and your holiday. I am sure. I already know it's going to be the highlight of mine. Let us take a listen.
Hey, you have a good day as well. I'll see you next year. That was funny.
I love the sound effects too. This is so good.
Hold up a second. Am I hearing something? Or am I hallucinating?
Definitely hallucinating.
Is there somebody singing? I gotta go check. It's coming from upstairs. Oh, wait! I forgot to wish my colleague a Merry Christmas. That's okay.
I used to have colleagues. How do they do this? Like, how do you get multiple voices on Bokaroo?
I'm wishing on a star and trying to believe that even though it's far, he'll find me Christmas Eve. I guess that Santa's busy, 'cause he's never come around.
Is this a real song?
I think of him when Christmas comes to town.
The best time of the year when everyone
been
comes
listening
home
this whole time?
with all this Christmas cheer. It's hard to be alone. Putting up the Christmas tree with friends who come around. It's so much fun when Christmas comes to town.
How about some classics like
Oh my God,
Jingle
President
Bells,
Biden.
Jingle Bells,
President?
Jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
I got a better one. Last
It's
Christmas,
Donald Trump.
I gave you my heart, but the very next day gave it away. This year, save me from tears. I'll give it to someone special.
Jennifer?
Santa, tell me
I thought
if
you
you're
went
really
home.
there. Don't make me fall in love again if he won't
I don't know who this
be
is.
here next year. Santa, tell me if he really cares. 'Cause I can't give it all away if he won't be here next year.
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt. Oh, I see a lot of familiar faces.
A fluent American?
Hey, if I remember your name correctly, Jeff. Is that your name? That is correct, Donald. For those of you who don't know, I'm an English teacher, and but tonight I'm feeling extra jolly. So if I can join you guys, if you guys don't mind.
Go right ahead, Jeff. Oh, such a pleasure to see you here. I mean, come on, man. Look at that fancy Christmas outfit you got there. Bring it in.
Great again.
Hey, Jeff, I'm Jennifer.
And I'm
Who
Mark.
is Jennifer?
Nice to meet you.
Who is Jennifer?
Mark and Jennifer. Oh my God, you guys are amazing. The smile on your faces is already making my Christmas so much better. Okay, so without further ado, here's the deal.
How does he do this? Like, how does he
Okay,
put all these words on
okay,
Okay.
all right. Okay.
Yes, Mr. American,
All
we got it.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Okay, all
Oh
right.
my God.
It's Christmas time. There's no need to be afraid.
Are
At
people usually afraid?
Christmas time, we let in light and we banish shade.
Ban the shit.
And in our world of plenty, we can spread a smile of joy.
The smile
Throw
of
your
joy.
arms around the world at Christmas time. But say a prayer. Pray for the other ones at Christmas time. It's hard, but when you're having fun,
There's a world outside your
Just from,
window,
like, the high pitches to
and
the low
it's a
pitches.
world of dread and fear.
Where the only water flowing is the bitter sting of tears. And the Christmas bells that ring there are the clanging chimes of doom.
Are these just like his own
Well,
lyrics? Or did...
tonight,
Oh god.
thank God it's them instead of you.
and there won't be snow in Africa this Christmas time. The greatest gift they'll get this year is life. Oh, where nothing ever grows.
This is what I'm wondering. Did he
No
make this
rain
before?
nor rivers flow.
I don't recognize any of this.
Do they know it's Christmas time at all?
But that's a real song, right? Maybe?
Here's to you, raise a glass for everyone. Here's to them underneath that burning sun. Do they know it's Christmas time at all?
Oh god.
Feed the world.
Okay, this one's
Sing.
wrong.
Feed the world. Sing, let them know. Feed the world. Let them know it's Christmas time. All together, Jeff, Emmanuel, Denny, Edward, everybody.
I don't know the words.
Feed the world. Let them know it's Christmas time. Feed the world. Let them know it's Christmas time.
Oh my gosh. Yes, that was yes. I will join that clapping with
Here
clapping.
we go. 3, 2, one.
Merry Christmas!
So, Jeff,
Yes.
I heard this is gonna be your last live stream.
Just on this channel. We're still doing more.
And I'm not very good at goodbyes.
It's not
and
goodbye. It's just it's just gonna
I'm
be
not
different.
ready for the farewell, but
We're just moving. We're still gonna do it.
I'm really gonna miss you, man.
We'll still be here, I promise.
Yeah, we're all gonna miss you, Jeff.
Oh, come on, man.
Jeff, do you mind if I give you a hug real quick?
Yeah, we can do that.
You're a great man, Jeff.
Oh, thanks.
You really are.
Jeff, you should come with us to dinner, please.
That's how it ends. Wow. Oh my gosh, that was I don't know how he makes those files. I don't know how he sends those files, but I am always very, very much impressed. Okay, in that time, we got one last file, and then we're going to close up shop. What is our time? We were at 2:20. Thank you so much to the singer for sending us, regaling us, serenading us with sounds that were, I believe, a mix of original content and new content, although I could be very, very wrong. Merry Christmas to the singer, to his motley crew, which I believe is just him. But last file for today, sent by guy Peter. Peter, hope to see you in future streams. I don't have the text for this, so let's do some real quick rapid reactions.
Testing, testing, testing. Hi there, my name is Peter, or you can call me Kasak, and I'm 17. I live in Canada, and I love your videos.
Cool. I appreciate that. Thanks for the kind words. That's great. I'm guessing that you're looking for feedback. I thought in general this sounded pretty good so far. Just watch out for that schwa sound on love. So again, that's not la la, it's more la la, love. I love your videos. Thank you. Appreciate the kind words.
I live in Canada, and I love your videos.
Videos. You could also get a little more open on that final O sentence. Say videos, more videos, a little more breath through. That sounds pretty good.
I've been watching your videos for over 8 months now, and
my God, and you just now sending a file? Come on, man. Words of the singer and Joe Biden.
Watching your videos for over 8 months now, and
I hear months again.
I've been watching your videos for over 8 months now.
Months, a little bit. That I almost feel like I'm hearing months versus months. So you could try to get a little bit more of that th sound in there, just slightly. Just a note.
And I just wanted to come by and say thank you for all the videos, all the live streams, and
thank you. Well, I'm glad. What a great stream to do this on, right on Christmas stream. Again, it sounded pretty good so far. Thank you. You could link that. You could also do like thank you. So add that k sound onto the U. I'm just know
to come by and say thank you for all the videos, all the live streams, and everything.
All the live streams, like I said, live streams.
So yeah, they really been helping me. Everything. So yeah.
So yeah, great.
They really been helping me.
Helping. I would practice this progression really quick. It's like L hell helping, L hell helping. Just try to get that vowel to just be a little bit longer there. Just a note.
And yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Oh, what a nice way to end the stream. On that note, well, guys, you've done it again. You have spent another one of your Saturdays here at the Schwa Mill, where we help you craft your accent every single Saturday at this time. My name is Jeff. If you're trying to get help with me every single day of the week, I encourage you to go to fluentamerican.com. Check out, again, our program called Mission English, where for one price, you get access to all of these streams here. Starting in January, or at least once a day until then. We would love to work with you on the streams and things like that. If you have questions about the program, sure, let me know. We also have other services too, like classes, our Telegram group, which you can see at fluentamerican.com. But once again, my name is Jeff. Thank you guys so much. It's been a great time. Merry Christmas to everyone. Checking the stream. Yes, we have one more stream. Oh my gosh, we have a stream on New Year's Eve, right before the holiday. So we get one more stream in before 2023. So that's exciting. And then again, that will be on the new channel just for the Schwa Mill. So everything will be up and running for the next stream. Thank you guys so much for your time. I always appreciate it. Have a good day. Have a good night. Good afternoon. Merry Christmas. Stay safe. Stay warm. If you're in a place that is cold, like here. And I will see you guys next week. Take care, everyone. Thank you so much for your time. Bye.